Welcome to the Eat Better, Move Better, Live Better podcast presented by Flourish with Tracy, where we'll dive into the realms of holistic wellness, plant-based nutrition, yoga, and self-care to help you live your best life. Tune in every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern for our special segments. Meditation Monday. Start your week with mindfulness. Wellness Wednesdays. Get the midweek boost you need. Sadhana Saturdays. Dedicate weekends to personal growth. Join us as we explore and discuss all things to eat better, move better, and live better.
Welcome. Today, we're exploring a phrase that many of us, we've all said countless of times. I'll just shake it off. Tired? Shake it off. Overwhelmed? Shake it off. Burnt out? Shake it off. Push through. Exhausted? Keep going. Shake it off. In our modern culture, exhaustion is often treated as an inconvenience rather than a message. So today, let's talk about shaking off exhaustion and why we think we can push through, why it doesn't work, and what determination is stronger than fatigue. We're taught that successful people never stop. We're taught that rest is something earned after everything is finished. But there's a problem with that philosophy. The body, your body, keeps score. Your nervous system keeps record. And your mind eventually demands payment for every debt of energy that you've accumulated. And the problem is we don't even really understand or know what exhaustion is. Most of us confuse exhaustion with being tired. Tiredness is normal. Exhaustion is different than being tired. Tiredness improves with rest. Exhaustion persists despite rest. Tiredness is temporary. Exhaustion is cumulative. And exhaustion occurs when physical, emotional, mental, and energetic resources have been depleted faster than they can be replenished. Think of your energy like a bank account. Every activity is a withdrawal from that account. Work, decision-making, relationships, stress, worry, poor consumption, constant stimulation, and poor sleep. And these withdrawals are happening continuously, sometimes simultaneously. However, to deposit into that account, we would require rest, nourishment, hydration, movement, joy, positive connection, and sleep. And exhaustion occurs when we withdraw more than we deposit for too long or extended period of time. And eventually that account will become overdrawn. The body begins to send messages. You experience cravings or poor concentration. You are not having motivation, or you begin to feel dis-ease or ill. You aren't sleeping well. You may be irritated. These are all notifications from that account saying, we need resources. We need replenishment. You have to fill the account. And unfortunately, many interpret these signals as obstacles rather than information or warnings. Many of us believe we can just shake it off because we ignore exhaustion. It's not always our fault. Our society in modern times often glorifies overworking. It's a form of cultural conditioning. We admire the person who's working 80-hour weeks. We admire the parent doing everything for everyone. We admire that entrepreneur who's only sleeping on 4 hours a night and drinking caffeine continuously. And we admire and praise the caregiver who never asks for help. Rest is frequently viewed as laziness, and exhaustion becomes a badge of honor. And we like to say, oh, I'm running on fumes. I haven't stopped in weeks. No worries, I'll sleep when I'm dead. We've heard these statements and may have said them ourselves often, and we say it proudly. Yet, in none of those statements do we actually describe the state of our health. Many of us believe that we're functioning well in stress because our hormones temporarily mask exhaustion. And when stress rises, our body will release adrenaline and cortisol. And these chemicals increase alertness because it's a signal that we are in a stress mode or a fight or flight. So we need to get up and go. And we may feel focused, productive, and driven. But that is not true energy. It's emergency fuel. It's like you're driving your car and there's a warning that you are low on gas, but you can still drive the car, and you do. But the warning light never goes out, and it doesn't go out, and you tend to ignore it until you have no choice but to put more fuel into the tank. We do the same things with our bodies. And a lot of times we keep pushing because stopping sometimes may feel dangerous. We may be afraid to fall behind. We may be worried about what we look like to other people. And what would they say if everything fell apart? We may be worried that we're disappointing someone or losing our momentum. And we may be worried that we may appear weak. Exhaustion becomes secondary to fear. But when we avoid rest, it doesn't remove the need for it. It just postpones it. And many of us unconsciously connect productivity with value. And if we stop producing so much, we lose our sense of wealth. We don't know who we are because our worth is tied to some sort of output. And when we do this, our rest then becomes uncomfortable. Stillness feels threatening. So the doing instead of being sometimes becomes addictive. Shaking it off never works. When you are low, you have to recharge. So can just thinking positively recharge it? No. Can being determined and motivated recharge it? No. Energy requires energy. Your biology requires resources. Our body operates on biological laws. If you think about it from a cellular level, we require oxygen, nutrients, hydration, sleep, and a period to recover and restore. You can have all the willpower in the world, and you will never be able to override these basic needs. So while we may think we're shaking it off to temporarily compensate, eventually those band-aids or that compensation will fail because our stress hormones have limits. The stress hormones previously mentioned are designed for short bursts of energy and stress, but it's not a constant activation. When your cortisol level remains elevated, you're not going to be able to sleep well. Your blood sugar is no longer regulated. You'll see an increase in inflammation within your body, which leads to illness and disease. Your immune function will weaken, which will also lead to disease. And it takes a longer, slower time to recover. You will become trapped in that fight or flight survival mode. You'll function, but you're functioning at a deficit and a cost. And so what are some of these things that occur? Well, exhaustion will affect your memory and how you make decisions. It'll affect your attention. Mental fatigue will change how your brain works. Consistent fatigue will impair your judgment. You will have more incident of mistakes. You're going to react more slowly, and you will not be as creative. Ironically, the harder we push, the less effective we actually become. Exhaustion is information. Pay attention to what you are receiving. When you try to shake it off, you aren't really solving the problem. The problem always remains. You're just pushing it to the side, but it's not going away. The goal is to understand the message that you're receiving. Dangers of pushing through can have a consequence physically. It can also interrupt your proper digestion, the ability of your body to repair itself. It can impact you emotionally, mood swings, being pessimistic, being numb emotionally, or heightened anxiety. And sometimes you just feel that you can't take it anymore. You're irritable, or you feel fragile emotionally, when in truth you just may simply be exhausted, depleted. When we're exhausted, we are not available to ourselves, to others. We decrease patience, listening, and empathy because we're operating from survival. We're just trying to survive. So when we're trying to survive, we don't have the space, the energy, or the time for real connection. And our relationships will suffer. Personal relationships, family relationships, work relationships, community and societal relationships. Eventually, continued exhaustion becomes burnout. And this is where we experience detachment, cynicism, or feeling trapped. And just taking a weekend off is not going to be enough. At this state, we need deep restoration. And even from a spiritual perspective, when we are chronically exhausted or just pushing it off, we are disconnected from joy, gratitude, and presence. We're just trying to survive, and we're missing the opportunity to experience these things. So when exhaustion appears, our body isn't asking us to be perfect. It's just asking for support. Listen to what the signals are, the information that you're receiving from your body when you're feeling exhausted. Eat better, move better, live better, reducing commitments, reducing doing, increasing being, hydration and sleep, proper movement and quiet. And if you're not sure, just ask yourself a simple question. What am I lacking? What resource do I require? Ask yourself those questions instead of, how can I push through or force myself through? How can I shake it off? Instead, what is my body trying to tell me? So there are healthy alternatives to shaking it off. First, when you're feeling the need to push or shake it off, stop. Take 3 slow breaths. Pause before you push. Pause before you increase your willpower or take extra caffeine. Just take 3 slow breaths in and out. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. And then ask yourself, what kind of tired am I? Is it physical tiredness, spiritual, emotional, or mental? Based on what type of tired you are, there's a different solution. It's not the same for each. The second is practice strategic rest. Shift the mindset that rest is laziness or maintenance. Strategic rest means being intentional, planning time to just deconstruct and decompose, walking in nature, reestablishing grounding, connection to the earth, meditation or reading, gentle stretching, quiet reflection. We've said this time and time again, but when we take time away from all of our stimulations and external inputs, we then begin to establish a daily practice rather than emergency intervention. And we've also said this one time and time again. Honor your sleep. Sleep is not an option. Sleep is important to restore memory, hormones, emotions, fixing all of the things we may have damaged during the day. Protecting your sleep is protecting your health. Instead of pushing through, move differently. Exhaustion doesn't always require that you need an intense exercise. You can be gentle. Gentle stretching. Gentle breath work. Slow movement can restore energy when you choose wisely. And back to the bank account analogy we used earlier, when you realize your account is low, ask yourself, what genuinely replenishes me? And it doesn't matter what replenishes others. What works for one may not work for some. Or what works for some may not work for the one. So genuinely, what replenishes you? Nature, meaningful conversation, laughter, servitude? Whatever it is, be sure to schedule time to deposit with the same level of seriousness that you give the obligations and production that you use to withdraw from your account. Practice boundaries. Most often, when you are really exhausted, you don't need more resilient. You just need fewer demands upon you. And the way to do that is to create safe boundaries for yourself. Boundaries protect your energy. Every time you say yes, that's a withdrawal from your account. And it's okay to say yes, except when you need to say no. So choose carefully. Exhaustion is not a personal failure. It's feedback. It's not your body working against you, it's working for you. Every signal or notification of fatigue is an act of your body communicating with you. So the goal is not to become stronger. The goal is not to shake it off. The goal is to become wise enough to listen before exhaustion becomes suffering. May you stop treating yourself like a machine. May you honor the rhythms of effort and recovery. May you remember that it's okay to be human and that rest is not the opposite of productivity. Rest is what makes productivity sustainable. Rest is what makes sustainable and effective production possible. And the greatest act of self-care is not learning how to shake it off, but instead learning how to hear what your body has been trying to tell you all along. Thank you for sharing time and space today.
Thanks for tuning in. I hope today's insights help you on a personal journey towards a healthier, happier life. Don't forget to join every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern for more self-care and holistic wellness tips. Before you go, make sure to comment, click the bell, like, and subscribe buttons for upcoming episode notifications. Be sure to always consult a medical professional before making any major changes regarding your health, diet, or routine. In the meanwhile, stay motivated, stay inspired, and remember, every step you take is one step closer to a better you. Until next time, keep flourishing, and as always, may all be well.